San Diego Comic-Con may be finished this year, but celebrating Avatar The Last Airbender's 20th anniversary is far from over. In addition to the anticipated film, The Legend of Aang The Last Airbender, creators Michael DiMartino and Brian Konietzko gave us a preview of the next animated series, Avatar The Seven Havens. Also, there's going to be a graphic novel focusing on Aang and Katara's waterbending daughter, Kaya, and a 3-issue comic book miniseries about the Kyoshi Warriors in the near future. With all this exciting news, it means we are getting more and more stories expanding this crazy world we all love to get invested in. Now, despite this new material still in production, I have compiled a list of the medium to read and watch if you really want to dive in chronological order. So, without further ado, here is the list.
The Dawn of Yang Chen. This may be the third book released in the Chronicles of Avatar novel series, but Yang Chen is the predecessor before Avatar Kuruk. Up next is The Legacy of Yang Chen. This is the sequel to The Dawn of Yang Chen and the fourth book released in the Chronicles of Avatar novel series. Following that is The Rise of Kyoshi. This is the first novel released in the Chronicles of Avatar novel series. She is Avatar Kuruk's successor. Moving on is The Shadow of Kyoshi, the sequel to The Rise of Kyoshi and the second novel released in the Chronicles of Avatar novel series. Next up is The Reckoning of Roku, the fifth book in the Chronicles of Avatar novel series, and the first book to expand on Avatar Roku's journey. He is Avatar Kyoshi's successor. Moving right along is The Awakening of Roku, the sequel to The Reckoning of Roku and the sixth book in the Chronicles of Avatar novel series. According to Randy Rebay, this novel will take place 3 years after the events of the previous book. Next up, Avatar The Last Airbender, the animated series that started it all. There are some reading material that do take place in the events of the seasons. Katara and the Pirate Silver. After Team Avatar gets ambushed by a Fire Nation fleet, Katara is separated from the group and ends up teaming with pirates while the rest of the group goes searching for her. Read this after watching Season 2, Episode 9, Bitter Work. The Untitled Kyoshi Warriors 3-issue comic book series. Rumor has it this miniseries is about what the Kyoshi Warriors did in the lead up to the Serpent's Pass. If this is true, this should be read before watching Season 2, Episode 12, The Serpent's Pass. City of Echoes, the first book in the Avatar Legends novel series. This focuses on Jin, the girl that went out on a date with Zuko in Ba Sing Se. Read this after watching Season 2, Episode 14, The City of Walls and Secrets. Suki Alone. This is the comic book focusing on Kyoshi warrior Suki while in prison at the Boiling Rock. Read this before watching Season 3, Episode 14, The Boiling Rock, Part 1. The Promise. The comic book that immediately takes place after the finale of Avatar The Last Airbender, and the comic book that officially started expanding the world of Avatar, or as we all like to call it, the Avatarverse. The Search. This follows the events after The Promise, and, more important, finding out what happens to Zuko's mother, Ursa. The Rift. This comic follows the events after The Search, and Toph reconnecting with her father, Lao Bei Fong. Moving right along is Toph's Metal Bending Academy. Despite Toph's martial arts academy a success, she is getting bored. Smoke and Shadow. Upon his return to the Fire Nation, a rebel group is planning to undermine Fire Lord Zuko and restore Ozai to the throne. Up next, Azula in the Spirit Temple. Will Azula get redemption? North and South. When Sokka and Katara come back home to the Southern Water Tribe, they discover their sister tribe from the north has made drastic changes to their village, causing both sides to be at odds. Up next is Imbalance. When Team Avatar is asked to help at a business council meeting at Cranefish Town, the conflict between benders and non-benders has been on the verge of turning violent. It is up to Team Avatar to resolve the divide and save the town. Up next, the Bounty Hunter and the Tea Brewer. Iroh and June cross paths once again and reluctantly team up. Ashes of the Academy. When Zuko and Azula's half-sister Kiyi attends the Royal Fire Academy, Ursa is worried that the school will mold her little girl like Azula. But Zuko has a plan to make change for the better, starting with hiring Mai as one of the school's new teachers. The next set of comics, The Lost Adventures and Team Avatar Tales, are side stories that take place during Avatar The Last Airbender. Though some of the short stories slow down the pace, this is an optional read. There are a few short stories in these comics that I wish were actual episodes. Up next, The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender, the anticipated movie focusing on Team Avatar Aang now as adults. I immediately thought of the Old Friends poster when news of this movie first came out. The untitled Kaya graphic novel, focusing on Aang and Katara's waterbending daughter as a young adult before she settles back at home to be with her mother after her father passes away. The Legend of Korra, the animated series focusing on Avatar Aang's successor, Korra. Up next is Turf Wars, the comic book that immediately takes place after the finale of Legend of Korra. Following that is the next comic book, Ruins of the Empire. The next comic book, Mystery of Penquan Island, focuses on Mako and Bolin uncovering their past. Up next is Patterns in Time. Like Lost Adventures and Team Avatar Tales, Patterns in Time is an anthology of side stories that take place during The Legend of Korra, and it's an optional read. And finally, Avatar 7 Havens, the new animated series focusing on Avatar Korra's successor, Pavi.
So there you have it. Happy reading and happy watching. If you feel I missed anything, please comment below. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.